Hello and welcome back to Bumblebee friends. I hope you came ready to dive into the online rabbit hole because this video we are counting through the top 10 creepy things found on Google Maps. So we're gonna be starting with an online classic, the OG Backroom. So for those unfamiliar with what a backroom even is, the concept is based on the video game The Backrooms, which is described as a parallel dimension which can be entered by no clipping out of a reality into a wrong area. A wrong area is usually considered a liminal space that we've all experienced, like the parking garage that's too quiet at night, the apartment stairwell that never seems to end, the motel that you drive past but no one's ever there. The mission once a backroom is entered is to exit without getting caught by the backroom entities that exist on all planes and levels. While the basis is a video game, the theory about finding these backrooms on Google Earth in real life went viral in April 2022 in a Reddit thread where one user posted a photo asking, "What the hell did I just find on Google Earth?" What they found was the most famous backroom spotted in Google Earth, located in the middle of Nara, Japan at coordinates 344203.5 and 1354916.6e. Redditor users' mass response was how the image was added to Google 11 years prior, long before the existence of backrooms video games, and fueling conspiracy as a result. When you toggle into Street View, you find an odd office-like space with a sinkhole-like visual. It seemingly drops into nothingness. Google deleted the Street View so you can only find videos and photos from before that online. Now all you see at the coordinates is this: two cylindrical white buildings with unknown purpose. A 2-decade mystery solved by someone bored on the couch. It's Grand Isle's Sunken Car. The man who spotted the car was the manager of the Grand Isle's housing development, checking out the properties he'd once helped develop. Thinking he saw something strange, he zoomed in and saw a car in the water. He contacted the current homeowner, who used a drone to confirm there was in fact a white saloon submerged at the edge of the water right behind his house in the Moon Bay Circle. Cops then pulled the car from the water and found skeletal remains inside. They were quickly identified as belonging to Mr. Molt. William Molt was 40 when he vanished off the face of the earth in early November 1997 after a night out of drinking at a club in Lantana, Florida. When he failed to return home, local cops launched a missing persons investigation, but the case quickly went cold and has remained that way for 22 years until the 2019 discovery. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office told BBC that the driver is presumed to have lost control of his vehicle and careered into the water, something that they didn't really think to check decades prior, as there'd be no evidence of that occurring until the recent shift in water levels made the car visible. Regardless, recent reports claimed that the satellite images of the vehicle had been available on Google Earth since 2007, but no one had stumbled across it until it was pulled from the water in 2019. Now we visit Finland for a Scarecrow Field. Found on Google Maps under the name The Silent People or The Quiet People in Kanu, Finland, they're part of an artistic display that has been moved around some different fields and churches before permanently residing here. The Silent People are made and clothed by the Susamamali Youth Workshop, which also takes care of their maintenance. They're essentially wooden stakes with straw mud caps and a variety of clothing mismatched together upon them. I can't emphasize enough how crazy the landscape is too, because it's genuinely miles of woods on either side and then a break in a field where over 1,000 creepy, brightly colored figures are just standing there staring at you. Back to the backrooms for the Google Map monster. So part of the whole backrooms thing, as mentioned, is that within these alternative planes of reality that you can slip and fall into, there are entities that reside there. The most known and recognized is a figure made up of what seems to be like cables with a box-shaped head. Under the coordinates 4250 45.0s, 14720 16.0e, you're pulled into a street view that is extremely narrow and tall, really weird for Google. In it, front and very centered, is this reported backroom monster. When looking around the surrounding, the room you're in is a classic backroom lore. It's vague, it's empty, it's painfully beige with a little distinction from the floor to wall, with far too many corners and unexplained nooks. Once again, like the OG backroom and many others I'll be listing, Google actually removes these images once they're found and discussed widely on online forums, which raises the question of why. What's so harmful of a picture if it's just a prank? Unless it's not. And since we're on this roll, how about I talk about the second most known Google Map backroom, the chairs. This time the coordinate of 2115 35.0s, 115 244.17.2e lands you in Carthara, Australia. The street view shows a room having multiple chairs organized in circles and circles and circles and circles around Billy the Robot, who is looking up in the center of a dark room into this upward vortex. Billy the Robot is a YouTube channel about a character called Billy the Robot, a little flying robot box, that shares coordinates and information with the viewers in the videos to help them find and understand the backrooms online. However, despite the robot's presence, the creator is reportedly unresponsible for this image on Google Maps. Google deleted the street view location as well, leaving it all to be found in previous screenshots and videos, which there's no lack of online, trust me. Some theorize that the upwards vortex in this backroom and the downwards one in the first OG backroom, perhaps maybe they're a connected front, and why the little Billy the Robot is looking upwards. Facts aside, this location is actually really super creepy, whether you believe in all this or not, to just pull up on Google Maps. Having no explanation aside from just existing and how people even manage to land on these pin drops to share it in the first place, it's all just really creepy at the end of the day. Once again, Google had unknowingly captured a car in a pond. While decorating a tree for Christmas outside of Cook Funeral Home in Byron Center in 2015, Brian Houseman is on a lift when he spotted what looked like a car submerged in the pond on the property. Unsure of what to really do about that, but assuming as anyone would that maybe something was a little weird about that, Brian called Kent County Sheriff's Department to notify them about the submerged vehicle. There was no tracks in the grass, so it definitely couldn't have been recent. Little did he know, the police or the family of Davy Lee Niles, that a 9-year mystery had just been solved. Davy Lee Niles, age 72, had disappeared on October 11th of 2006 after he was seen leaving Jake's Bar in Byron Township, Michigan. Due to his age, time duration he was missing, as well as his diagnosis of cancer before going missing, his family had actually lost hope in finding him, and in 2011 published an obituary for the once 72-year-old man. Now here Davy was, at the bottom of a pond 9 years later, and the craziest thing is that the car Niles' body was inside has been visible on Google Maps since 2007. The photo was taken off of Google during routine updates a few years ago, but before that, to divert attention away from the vehicle, they placed a pin drop for the park over top of it. For us today, it's closure of a long search, said Niles' son-in-law, Scott Hathaway, to Wood TV on the day his vehicle was pulled from the pond. Why God waited 9 years, I have no idea, but we're happy. It's good to have him home. Thanks, Google. Let's get liminal. It's don't search or you'll sink. Well, maybe the creepiest of the creepy Google Map backroom thingies is the Day Valley, California one. It also features our Billy the Robot homie. Coordinate number 370211.1N 1215444.0W is the pinnacle of just not right. The street view lands you in a beige hellscape of asbestos ceiling tiles and blank floors. The walls change texture between wallpaper and brick or smooth surface, with random doorways and corners emerging without pattern. What makes this the most distinct backroom found is it's the only one with writing. The sentence "don't search or you'll sink" is smeared in what's evidently meant to be dried blood or mud or something. I don't know, I haven't been there. This room also has some random objects tossed around, and like others on Google, you can zoom in real tight and click the hell out of those little blue photosphere buttons, but you'll get no result as Google sucks the fun out of exploring other planes of existence and deletes these locations. Don't worry, there's plenty of content on this one still found online. A devastating reminder to hang over a family's head has a saying, "Wrong time, Google." When Google Maps satellites were taking pictures overhead of Richmond, California in 2009, it had the incredibly poor timing of capturing an image of police officers examining the body of Kevin Barrera, a teen who had been killed and dumped near the railroad tracks. And then the image was placed on Google without anyone checking it or knowing what had been caught. The image showed a train, railroad tracks, and police cars. The body of Kevin is in plain sight, to the point that the clothing that Kevin had been wearing at the time of his demise is identifiable on his body. Barrera's father, Jose, only learned about this horrifying picture when a local TV station called him and asked him about it. Google was also apparently unaware that it had inadvertently posted images of a crime scene online for anyone to see years prior. Jose endured the trauma of Googling the coordinates to see what the reporters had been asking about was in fact true. Google had issued an apology to the Barrera family, but Jose doesn't think it's enough, and validly so, as it took the search engine giant's process a week to remove the photo. When Mercury News columnist Mike Cassidy asked Google why it would take 8 days to remove the picture from Google Maps, he didn't get an answer. The killer of Kevin was never found, which makes this situation even more heartbreaking for this grieving family. Now the Quebec video address. Found at coordinate number 452556.0N 715552.2W, the pin drop only says Sacred Place. When you click, you'll have a video of an orangey yellow room pop up and begin to play. It goes in a 360 of the room, showing off carpet and white trim and elongated but mismatched corners and walls. A thick red cord runs the length of the room's floor, and a tripod seems to be holding a camera in 2 separate spots. There is literally no explanation for this creepy video online, let alone why it's dropped in the middle of Quebec. There's no audio and it's only 5 seconds. Online trolling hasn't gotten me much info either, but what I can say is that the weird clips and photospheres depicting middle ground existences have always cropped up in not only modern stories but even ones of the past. This modern fad of backrooms truly has me wondering if there's a deeper and darker connection that our ancestors knew more of that we've lost touch with over time. Who knows, but oral tradition might be leaning that way. And now but not least, the Miyoshi Doll Village. Nothing like a town where nobody truly leaves. This is a small village located in Shikoku, Japan. What makes it creepy is that there are dolls located all over the place, which are all made by one older lady. Anyano Tiskamini is responsible for 350 plus dolls around the village. According to reports, once a person dies or just chooses to leave the village, she replaces them with a doll. The dolls first appeared in 2003 when Anyano retired and came back to her village after working almost all her life in Osaka. She had been surprised at how lifeless it'd become there and decided to create the scarecrows modeled from people in the village. About 350 dolls, as said, have been crafted over 12 years. Each doll displays its own personality, its name, and its story, all of which being carefully recorded in a logbook that any of the rare visitors of the town can read. Creepy thing is that you won't see these dolls in the same places. They're often moving overnight or on random days, even as far as across town from where they originally were. But Anyo denies moving these dolls, and as does the 37 other remaining villagers in town. Now you can visit in person or jump on Google Maps and take the tour. Having virtually walked around myself, I can say it's one of the most bizarre things I've ever come across online. Alright, it's now game over. We are done, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more Bumblebee content, and comment down below any pin drops you may have for weird Google Map locations.